onto this, and actually, I bet you I spent less money on Amazon buying this kit than I've spent at Napa. Hey there, welcome back to Darius's Budget Garage. So today I'm going to be doing a video that I shouldn't even be doing a video about. I've been battling tranny lines and blowing them, and I've probably dropped hundreds of dollars of ATF all over the road and the trail into my driveway, and my car's just been sitting here and there's a pool of ATF underneath. So I've been just trying to get by with the old school hose and barb and hose clamp type of fittings, like what I've got going on right here. And I've even gone to the double hose clamps. I've gone from a heavier duty line to this rubber line that's a little more pliable, thinking I'd get a better crimp. But as that pool on the ground says also, we're having problems with tranny lines blowing off, and I've had enough of that. I have a lot of money wrapped up in my transmission and a few builds of my own, and it's time to just stop worrying about tranny lines. So I've decided to step my game up, and actually it didn't cost me very much money at all to step my game up, and I've gone to an Evil Energy 6AN CPE hose kit. I got this 10-foot kit on Amazon. It was like $40. It comes with my hose, and then these fittings are all in here. So I've got a couple straight fittings, which I plan to use, and I've got a couple 45 fittings, which I think I will use off the side of my transmission. And then I've got 10 feet of hose, and then I have some hose left over from doing other parts of this project. So anyways, today's video is going to be about making tranny lines, how to make these hoses. So I've decided to go with the CPE hose. It's not like the PFTE hose. This hose is very simple to work with. It does have a small stainless braid inside, but these fittings are much easier to put together than the PFTE stuff that's stainless with the hard plastic inner liner. This will work just fine for tranny lines. So we're gonna go through the process today of assembling these lines. I'm gonna run you through me doing the install in my car, and well, hopefully it'll be good information to people curious about running CPE hose. It's super simple to work with, and like I said, this whole kit with all these fittings was like 40 bucks. So very affordable. And hopefully that'll be the end of me blowing tranny lines, because I've probably dumped out 20 quarts of Amsoil ATF on my test drives and losing tranny hoses. And like some of the clips I'll put in here, and I've been fortunate that I haven't been like 5, 10, 20, however many miles from home, but it has been pretty inconvenient. So it's time to step my game up, because got the old Project Mustang. We're like right there. I've got this thing. I am no expert tuner, but I have this thing on pump 93 octane right now, and it is running tip top. So I pulled off my fittings that came with my B&M tranny cooler. I don't know what model number this is, but it's, I think, the same tranny cooler that everybody says to use. It's a double pass-through, heavy duty guy, big fan. Should do the job. So with my Evil Energy kit, the Dash 6 kit, the Evil Energy Dash 6 kit with all those Dash 6AN fittings, I have a straight Dash 6 deal here, and that will screw right to the tranny cooler. Just like so. Bam, he threads right on. I'm not gonna thread him on yet. I've got to take the other side of the tranny loose. Line length. And I can't wait to stop having these messes on the floor. I'm tired of ATF, and ATF is expensive. Well, everything's really difficult to see under the car. Not very good light. It's hard for me to even see, so I'm not sure how the camera footage is coming out. But what I do have is my old cooked Turbo 400 here. that I burn up, and I've got my AN deal with a 1/4-inch pipe, and looks like there's thread sealer in here, so I think that these were pipe thread, even though this fitting that came out had a washer on it. I'm not sure. I read some stuff that said it could be either way, but this fitting goes in a ways, and then, like all pipe thread, starts to get tight. So what I'm gonna do in the car is I'm going to thread tape that guy a little bit, and we're gonna crank it in. What's the worst that'll happen? More leaks? All right, I got my fittings here, and I'm gonna thread the top one in first so the bottom fitting doesn't get in the way of me tightening it and I don't damage the bottom fitting. And this is the part where we go up to the bench here and we can put said fittings on the hose on the one end right now. So anyways, we can assemble the tranny side because we know they're both going to use this 90-degree fitting. I'll put this together. I'll loosely thread it onto the transmission. We'll run it from the front back to the back of the car, and we'll cut them to length. And I know I'm going to use straight fittings on the back. Well, I thought I knew I was going to use 45 fittings on the front. So anyways, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to put together the front, run it to the back, see where we sit. All right, well, I've got one of my hoses. The tape on the end here is for when you cut it, so your nylon doesn't get all frayed. And then that's that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna peel the tape back. So now we got the tape out of the way. I couldn't get this fitting pressed on far enough. So now we're gonna push this nylon coating in, get it started, and now we can force it on there. Oy, oy, oy. Now it's a little too far, so I can true it up. So there we go. We've got the hose shoved into the fitting, right to the back side of the threads. I don't know if we can see that there. I think you can see the hose on the inside. So anyways, it's up to the back of the threads, right to where the hose is supposed to stop. This is the part where we take the other half of this fitting, we thread it in, and by threading it in, it's just gonna tighten right up and make a leak-proof seal. Go quite a ways in by hand. Alright. Now, I'll put that there and tighten it up. What you want to do is I want to hold this hose back here, and I want to make sure that it's not spinning inside of the fitting that I just shoved it in, because that would mean it's probably being shoved out as I tighten this fitting. It's not doing it right now, but I have had it do that. So anyways, hold on to that and that. Crank it down, and I'm just gonna go right till it bottoms out, unless it gets really tight and I have reason to believe I don't need to go further. There we go. There it is. All the way together. I just bottomed that guy out on the other guy. There we go. We're halfway there. All right, I've got my AN fitting screwed onto my transmission up there. This is a way cleaner deal than what I had before with the hose clamps and just rubber hose. Nice 90s, get me pointed in the right direction. So I got about as much slack as I want. That line's about there. My AN fitting's gonna take up a little more. And then what I cut these with is I just use a nice set of Nipex side cutters right off the Mack truck, and it makes a plenty good cut. As you can see with my 10-foot kit, I'm gonna have about a little more than a foot left. So get these guys up here, And bam, cut one down. I got one guy right there, he's gonna go there. Another guy, make sure I got enough slack in it. I'm gonna cut him about there. Oop, make sure I get a square cut. Bam. Yeah, I'm thinking about running a 45 fitting here. That'll get this line running over with this line running straight. I think that'll be a much cleaner look. If he does that, crap, I might do a 45 on both. Yeah, I'm gonna do a 45 on both. Then it'll get them paired up nice and they'll run right to the front, right together, much cleaner. All right, we've got our transmission side put together. We've put it back under the car. We've got everything cut to length. Now we're gonna throw these last 45s on here and these training lines are gonna be built. All that'll be left is put it underneath, tighten them up, zip tie them up out of the way, and make sure there's no leaks. Give it a little lube there. Kind of shove the soft coating inside there. And shove this guy together. They're kind of a bugger to get shoved in far enough, but not horrible. Look in there. Yeah, we're a long ways from being tight, or all the way in. There we go. Now we got it grabbed. So I've got this guy in the vise. Keep one hand on the hose here. Make sure it doesn't spin out of the fitting. And then get that out of the way. And then just crank it down. Butterfingers. One hose down. Grab my other fitting. He's going in nice. I just go till he's bottomed all the way out there, and voila, fitting still spins, and we've got leak-free fittings. Now I've got my nice AN braided lines, the CPE stuff. I can get rid of this old Napa crap with the double hose clamps and blowing training lines. It's enough of this. We're onto this, and actually, I bet you I spent less money on Amazon buying this kit than I've spent at Napa buying this oil hose and all the hose clamps I have on here. This was like $50. I bet you I have over $100 into the hose and clamps here. So now we get under there, put it together, tighten everything up, put some tranny fluid in it, and we'll check for leaks. And then my tranny leak problems will be over, at least this portion of them. Alright, and last I grabbed a wrench to put on my transmission cooler side, because as I'm tightening these fittings, I don't want to twist the inlet of my transmission cooler and cost me more money again. So, get these guys cranked down. Alright, that's that. Now, all that's left is get my transmission lines right where I want them, get all this fuel lines and few wires that I have around the back here, get them zip tied up out of the way nice and neat, and yeah, fill it with tranny fluid and we'll make sure we got no leaks.